Hello, what's up? Battlefield 2042. What we are going to talk about is the weapons, and specifically the vault weapons. By now they have released about, I think they have released more than 20 weapons, vault weapons, and the vault weapons are always a little bit weird because when the game was in this situation where it was fresh and new, there were a bunch of 2042 weapons, and then there was the portal, and in portal you had different weapons, and people thought, you know, we want more weapons. Why don't you bring in these weapons? And DICE were first a little bit hesitant maybe, and then they realized that, yeah, let's do that, and we get a whole bunch of weapons for free. It's not really for free, but anyway, it's cheaper than actually doing it from, yeah, well, as you should. And we're going to get back to that a little bit, because that's actually a theme in what they're doing in Season 5. So by now they had trickled in a bunch of different weapons. In 4.2 we didn't get any new vault weapons, and people were a little bit surprised, but that turned out to be actually they sacrificed the 4.2 update of vault weapons in order to provide more in 5.0 in Season 5. The thing about the vault weapons is that they're not really as good as 2042. If you meet someone with a 2042 weapon, if you're at the same skill level, usually the one with 2042 weapon wins. And it comes down to a couple of things. I mean, obviously 2042 is in the slight future and the vault weapons is in the slight past. And I guess therefore it makes sense that they aren't really as good as the 2042 weapons. But it's also down to lack of attachments and customization. I mean, there is some, but it's not as good. So what they are doing right now is that they are improving this. She didn't like to hear that. She likes the vault weapons. Why would they want to change anything about vault weapons? Rough. Yeah. So the thing is that they are changing the vault weapons, and by that I mean that they are actually removing most of the original attachments, and instead they are replacing them with like new scopes and stuff. They will also have most muzzle devices. They will have like one universal grip, and then they will have 1 or 2 lasers or more lasers, and they will have flashlights and a lot of stuff. For starters, they will only have extended magazines. They won't have any flashy new stuff that they haven't in the past. And then they're going to monitor the usage of the vault weapons, and if they don't, so they have their specific targets of how much vault weapons should be used, and how they come up with these targets, I don't know. Someone thought it was a good idea, I guess. Anyway, if they haven't met these targets, then they will start to add other ammunition types or mag types. And I say, let's not play it. Let's not touch the vault weapons, and we'll get better vault weapons. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? But yeah, so they won't do all this at once, partly because they are a little bit careful, but obviously the time is limited. So instead they're going to do all the assault rifles and the gold magnum sniper at the first in 5.0, and then in 5.1 we'll start adding new stuff, and it will continue to do that just like they've added new vault weapons in the past. So apart from what you can actually like the technical ability of the weapon, it's also the looks. All vault weapons will have all vault weapons will have full support for all the universal skins that you can have in your roster, today. So the universal skins will work for the vault weapons as well, and that's all of them. And that's pretty neat. And it's actually not all about the vault weapons. So today, I mean, the vault weapons were made for Portal, and to save time, I suppose, they just brought them in, and they feel a little bit weird sometimes with the spread and the recoil and everything. So they are going to change that. They are going to get the same technical behavior like the 2042 weapons. So the pattern will of course be a little bit different and stuff, but the technology behind will be the same as the 2042 weapons. So, and actually they're not going to do too much with the balancing stuff from start, or they are going to do the attachments, they're going to do the spread change, and then they're going to see how people use them. And if they think they're still inferior, then maybe they'll start do balancing and stuff. But they think that for starters, because of the attachments, because of the spread and all that, the technology, the Vault weapons didn't have a fair chance. So they are going to get a fair chance for starters, and then they might do more depending on the need. Alas, they will also have more time, obviously. But yeah, and that's actually that is most of the Vault weapon thing. There are a couple of things that I also have confirmed. So first of all, the Glock, the handgun, they are finally going to nerf it, and it's mainly the spread, the burst mode that they're going to change, and it's mainly for so they limit the range because they want it to be good in short range. It's going to be a panic weapon. It's not going to be the primary weapon. And they didn't do this before because at the beginning, when people started to complain about it, they could see that it was only the top percentage of the player base that actually did use it. So it was not really a big problem. I mean, I guess they have a point, really. I mean, if only a few use something that is completely overpowered, well, maybe that's not really a problem, is it? But as I started to see that it trickled down, so the broad mass of players started to use it and actually started to use it instead of a primary weapon, like me, then they started to see that this is something that we're going to change, and therefore they're actually changing it. The final part that I'm going to go through is the ARM 68. I mean, as people know, it's bonkers. It's going to get nerfed, and they wanted it to be powerful from start. They wanted it to be at least at the same level as the SFAR or SCAR, and I guess they succeeded. So I mean, they say that it's a little bit too strong, so they're going to get a little bit nerfed, and I say make sure to tier 1 it before they nerf it, because then after it's going to get much worse and much harder to actually, I mean, obviously if something is nerfed, it's not as good, so go ahead and play it all the time. Yeah, I think that is the Season 5 update for today. Cheers.